Hello YouTube, this is Mr. Saska Dragon and welcome to episode 5 of Road to the WCQ sideboard options. So here we have a makeshift sideboard and we're going to take you through some of the ideas for your sideboard when you go to the WCQ. So of course we run the 2 puppet plants. Now running 1's stupid, running 2 is perfect. If you don't know what this card does, you could discard this card to the graveyard to select one face-up warrior or spellcaster type monster your opponent controls, and take control of it until the end phase of this turn. Puppet Plant is now being really used in the side deck against Bubble Beat and Hero Beat, because the fact of you can take control of one of their beat sticks and start beating them down. It's basically a brain control, really, without actually paying any life points at all. And you really can do some serious damage with this card. And of course it's good against spellcaster decks and gravekeepers. So watch out gravekeeper players and watch out Bubble Beat and Hero players, because this card will royally screw you over if your opponent drops it. Okay, now we have Electric Virus. Now Electric Virus is kind of the same thing as Puppet Plant does, but this one you can control one face-up machine or dragon type monster your opponent controls. So that's things like Lugia, Darker, any Chaos Dragon like Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Darkness Metal Dragon, any type of dragon that they have, and of course machines out there. So someone could be running machine of gadgets, or a machine of variant build, or just a basic machine build, and this card is very good for that. So you have another option of putting this in your sideboard, whereas one Puppet Plant does 2 options, Electric Virus does another 2 options, which gives you 4 options to really play with. Then of course one Effect Veiler. Now running 2 Effect Veilers in a deck is so much easier, but of course now since the priority ruling has gone, you may consider putting this 3rd Veiler you have in the sideboard actually in the main build, depending on if your main deck can actually take it. But this card, unless you don't have any room in your main deck, it's best to go in the side deck, just in case you go against a lot of cards that have a lot of big effects and you really need to negate them straight away when they're summoned to the field. For instance, things like Shien and Caius, Judgment Dragon, stuff like that, which you can just get rid of the effects straight away and really stop them nuking the field or destroying some of your precious back row. And of course we have Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. Now you can either run 1 or 2. I would personally run 2, because this card's quite interesting, because you either run this card or you run Snowman Eater. Now Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo is much more brilliant because the fact of neither player can special summon why this card is flipped face up. Sorry, it's flipped face up on the field. You cannot special summon any monsters on the field. So neither player can special summon any monsters while this is on the field face up, and when this card is flip summoned, it destroys all special summon monsters on the field. So the game today, everything is about special summoning, synchros, and exceeds all special summons. So when this card is face down and you flip it up and it's destroyed, all their codes go bye-bye. A lot of people misinterpret Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. They reckon just when it's flipped face up, like, so if you just flip it up, it destroys everything. Yes, but if it's destroyed and it flips up anyway, so it still goes off. It's exactly the same as Snowman Eater. Just to clarify that, because a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players don't understand that. We also run 2 Smashing Ground in the sideboard, just in case you have a lot of big beat sticks your opponent really controls and you cannot get rid of them. Smashing Ground really is the best card to have in your sideboard to get rid of these cards. And if you don't run them, I would seriously consider putting them in your side deck as one of your options. Then you can either run 1 D prison or 2 D prison in the sideboard. I mainly just put a 3rd D prison in the sideboard just in case you go against those hard-hitting monsters that have already been summoned and you couldn't negate. This card will then banish them and get rid of them straight away. Then we have 2 bottomless trap holes. Now this is a good idea in the sideboard and of course in the main deck now, since priority is now gone. It really is good for high plays against monsters over 1/5 or more. The only annoying thing is bottomless trap hole does not destroy insectors, which is annoying. It only gets rid of centipede, but it really does help against other decks, so it's always good to have bottomless trap hole in the sideboard because it can really royally screw your opponent right over. And we have Light Imprisoning Mirror. I run 2 of these, and hopefully I'll run 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors when I find some on eBay, because they are quite hard to find at the moment, and as the WCQ is coming very, very close, I will have to eventually find some as quick as possible. But Lightning Imprisoning Mirror is very good against light type decks, especially against Light Swarms, because when the effect of a light monster activates on the field or in the graveyard, you can negate it, which means Judgment Dragon could go bye-bye with Light Imprisoning Mirror. That's all that needs to be said about those 2. And of course, this is my special tech. Since now Heretics are coming out, you want to consider running 3 Mask of Restricts. This is a very, very old school card. This was released way back in Labyrinth of Nightmare. And this card really is busted. Because Heretics are all about tribute summoning, Mask of Restrict states that monsters cannot be tributed. So you've got one of these face down on the field and your opponent goes, right, I'm going to tribute one of my Heretics. Denied, Mask of Restrict. You've just balls them over. So this card will be a big bonus. So if you can find these cards will be a good idea because these will go up in price. They're very, very hard to find. Extremely rare to find is the ultra rare that come out of Labyrinth of Nightmare. So if you can find one of those, well, you're sitting on a gold mine. But at the moment, Mask of Restrict itself, a common card, is going for like £2, £3.50 now. These are seriously going up in price. And as soon as Heretics storm the battlefield, Mask of Restrict will go up a colossal amount. No matter what rarity it is, you'll probably see a common go up to about £5 or around about $9 to $10. So I hope this gives you a bit of information about putting certain cards in your sideboard. Until next time, this is Mr. Sasuke Dragon signing out on the road to the WCQ.